Is the world safe for everyone? I mean for everyone, not for you, me, or just a certain group of people. What we see when we wake up in the morning. We watch TV, we watch news channel, we read magazines, newspaper, etc. And then we realize that this world is full of injustice and inequality. White kills blacks, um, rich exploits poor, women are being discriminated by men, etc. etc. Did you ever think of a possible solution to this injustice and inequality? Did you realize what happens if we protest against this injustice and inequality? Well, before I talk about what happens if we protest, I first want to talk about what happens if we do not protest. What happens if we do not protest? Well, if we do not protest, then the authority thinks that no one um, they can do anything they want to do, and no one is going to question their action. As a result, um, injustice and inequality becomes severe uh, in our society. Now think who has to face this injustice and inequality. It's the people like you and me. The authority does not have to face this injustice happening in our society. Actually, they're the one who are benefited from this injustice and inequality. Now that we know, so what I want to do, I want to discuss now about the importance of protesting. Hello, my name is MD Saiful Islam Khan, and today I'd like to persuade you to protest anytime you're being discriminated as a single person or a whole community. So now the question raised here is, what is the necessity to protest? Well, as I told you earlier that the world is full of injustice and inequality, and the normal people like us has to deal with it. Let's take a look at some examples. Let's talk about George Floyd. George Floyd, he was a black male. Um, he was killed by a white police officer brutally, who was supposed to save him, not kill him. So, Black Floyd's skin color became his enemy here. Let's talk about gender discrimination. Gender discrimination is another problem. It's actually a huge problem in Asia and Africa. We buy things and we can use that thing any way we want to do. Women in many countries in Asia and Africa are treated like things that has no life. So this shows that injustice. This is just a few of the examples that shows us that injustice and inequality exist in our society. Now that we know that injustice and inequality exist in our society, we know that we must protest against them. So um, how do we know that this protest actually helps us to obtain our right, to establish our rights? It's pretty simple. If we look into the statistics of the successful protest history, we realize that how that protest change everyone's life. To demonstrate that, let's talk about women's discrimination. Women's protest in Washington. It was held on January 2017, the day after Donald Trump was inaugurated as 45th President of United States of America. About more than approximately 5 million people joined to that protest to support women's rights. As a result of that protest, Donald Trump was accused um, to misconduct, sexually misconduction by another 25 women. Um, Now let's talk about the Orange Revolution. Orange Revolution held on 2004, and hundreds of thousands of people um, marched in Kyiv Square in order to protest against the result of Ukrainian presidential election. As a result of that protest, they had to recall for another election, which led the opposition team to get into the office instead of the other team. Um, do you know anything about the language movement that happened in 1952? Well, West East Pakistan had to protest against West Pakistan since West Pakistanis wanted Urdu as the only official language, but East Pakistanis did not speak in Urdu, they speak in Bengali. So they protested against West Pakistanis, and though as a result of the protest, the West Pakistan had to accept Bengali as the official language of Pakistan, along with Urdu. To demonstrate this point that protest actually helps us to obtain our right, I would like to give you a personal example of mine. Um, One of my friends used to work at a restaurant, and he was such a hard worker. He used to work really hard, and even though he was a hard worker, his manager used to ask him to do more work. So he almost ended up doing like twice as much work as the other worker did. So one day he got really mad, and he went to the owner of the restaurant and he explained him about his current situation. And the owner understood, and he warned the manager. Um, since then, the manager was very fair to my friend and never asked him to do what he was not supposed to do. My friend's complaint to his owner can be compared to protest, which shows that protest actually helps to establish our rights. Now that we know that protest helps to establish our rights, we want to know more about the benefit of protest. What are the benefits of protesting? Well, protest helps everyone in the society. It just does not help just only one or two people. It helps everyone in the society. Um, um, Protest is very important for democracy. Democracy lives on protest, as we see from the previous example of Orange Revolution. How Orange Revolution called for revolt and how it changed the result. Protest helps the minorities in our society. Of course, protest gives the minority their rights back. Protest also warn the authority that they are not allowed to do whatever they want to do. Uh, it tells them that they must do what is right, and exploitation, injustice does not last forever. Protest also teach a lesson to the normal people who has nothing to do with protest. It shows them that if we are discriminated, um, then we can protest, and thus we can um, bring our rights back. Um, well, these are just only a few benefits that protest um, does for us. There are many more benefits of protest. Um, Now that we pretty much know how protest helps us and the benefits of protest, I would like to conclude my speech. To conclude my speech, I would like to say that protest is the most effective way to establish our rights. So it's totally up to you what you want to do. You just want to sit down, do nothing about injustice and inequality happening in our society, and let it be more severe to you, your family, your community, or you want to go protest against this inequality and help to make a better world for everyone. Thank you very much for listening. Have a good day. Take care. Bye bye.